Earning $100 a day while trading really depends on the amount of money you plan to invest. That's the answer you expected when you clicked on this video, right? It's actually much more than how much you plan to invest. Sure, it's easier to make 10% of 1,000 and earn 100 that way. But if you know when to buy and sell, the difference between 10% and 100% is just the leverage you use. Of course, this is so much easier said than done. The inspector is not delusional, the inspector is smart. So he uses indicators to help him make trades. The bird view indicator in particular. Someone who is trading the markets for a decade can easily just look at the chart and just know where the price will go next. But if you're new, it's not that easy. As someone who is fairly new, I've only been trading for the past 3 years, the indicators really help out. And they're the key difference to making a good trade compared to a bad one. Knowing when to trade against the trend and therefore allowing for greater profits. I trade on Bybit for the most part, and if you want to trade on Bybit as well, there's a link in the description down below you can use. And if you use my link, you will have 0 maker fees as well. Of course, you can trade on whatever exchange you like. I just personally use Bybit. For example, if we go to the daily chart of Bitcoin here, we can see that we had a buy indicator right around this candle right here. And if we trade it just from this candle up until not even to the very top, it's 30% with absolutely no leverage. So put the 30% on 10x leverage and you have yourself 300%. Of course, it's not that easy. Of course, it's not. We're gonna get deep into details of how to make it easier. It's never going to be easy. Trading is never going to be easy. It is tremendously hard, but indicators like this can make it easier. If you want to try Birdview for yourself, you can also use code inspector20 and get 20% off. But not only do you get 20% off, you also help out the channel. That's one way of supporting the channel. Another way to support the channel is by leaving a like. If you like these types of videos and want to see more, don't forget to go down there, smack that like button. It helps me out with the YouTube algorithm as well. And let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mindblow Show. I'm your host, the Inspector, and we're back on the charts. My favorite thing about the bird view indicator that I use most often is the money flow. We're here on the daily chart, and as you can see, we can just look at the money flow and see how it is going from up to down, from oversold to overbought. And really, we can see how long we've been in the negative money flow right here. Ever since the 50,000 areas from exiting the bull market, we had a short turn to the upside here where we almost broke the trend to the upside at around 50k again, but that was very, very short, maybe a week of positive money flow. And then we had negative money flow up until January of this year. So if we go to the weekly chart, we can see that we're still in the negative money flow, but it is shifting up. It is shifting to the upside, and we can probably see a long-term uptrend right here with the positive money flow. As the money flow goes back up, maybe, just maybe, this is one of the ways we can tell whether we're in a bear or a bull market, because this definitely looks like that. So by judging from the money flow, we have been in the bull market since 9k up until the 42k area is where we entered the negative money flow or the bear market, and we are still in it. Right now we're still in it, but it is looking good. I love to see this. I love to see these shifts to the upside. Had another buy signal right here around 26k, which was very nice. But first of all, if you want to make 100 a day with trading and you start with a low sum, for example $10, as I did in my $10 to $1,000 series, we're still only at episode 2. If you've not seen that, I'm trading from $10 all the way to $1,000. Currently, the portfolio is sitting at around $100, so I have made 102 episodes, and that's almost 1,000% starting at 10. For those episodes, I tried not to use the bird view indicator as I thought it'd be cheating, but in the third episode, I will definitely use it. But if you're working with a little bit more money, let's say for example $50, or you're working with even more, for example 1,000, the more you use, of course, the easier it'll be to make 100 a day. You gotta understand there's different types of traders. There's, for example, the traders that like to do trend following, and if we follow trends, we just gotta establish what the current trend is and just trade accordingly. For example, all of this here, this channel Bitcoin was in right here, going up and down. This is what a trend following trader would absolutely love. Just shorting the top, longing the bottom, shorting the top, then it didn't really hit the bottom here. I would look for a confirmation. If I was a trend following trader, I would look for the confirmation that this was indeed the bottom, making a higher low compared to the previous low right here. I would try to put in a trade probably around these areas here. Anywhere here would be good to enter, but having the buy signal from Birdview would just set everything in stone for me, and this is probably where I would enter the long trade. Of course, Bitcoin has broken above this range or this trend right here, and we've kind of been stuck above ever since. Just testing some of these areas, testing 28.5k and just testing the upper support zone of this channel right here. If we go over to Ethereum, it is doing something very, very similar, but for Ethereum, I just put one resistance zone right here. I think this is the main resistance zone around $2,000, exactly $2,000 for Ethereum. The main resistance, we got a sell indicator on the daily chart here from Birdview, and of course, it did play out. You don't want to be in these trades for a long time, right? If you're shorting, just short it down. How much was this? Let's see. From once we got it until the very bottom, it was around 8%. I would probably get out of the trade even earlier. In my opinion, around 50% with leverage is a very, very good trade to make. If it keeps going down and you're shorting, but you already took out profits and it just keeps going down, it's totally fine. People lose their minds when that happens. They're like, no, I could have made this, I could have made that. You could have also been liquidated. So stick to your plan. Very, very important. You want to make 100 a day while trading? Well, stick to your plan. If you don't stick to your plan, you're going to be losing 100 a day. So you have a plan, you stick to it. If you want to take out profits at 50%, you take out profits at 50%. You don't look at how the chart is changing. You got to stick to your plan. No emotions whatsoever. That is the only way to do this. Another thing people love to do is swing trading. Now, of course, swing trading is buying low and selling high. That is the perfect swing trade would be just that. So if you buy here, you hold the position and you exit around here, that is a perfect swing trade. Now, how would you know when to enter a swing trade? Well, also, you got to look at the support and resistance zone. So even without looking at the buy and sell signals here from TradingView, what we can do is just draw a basic support line right here. Basic support line would look like this, but of course I know this now because I can see the whole chart. So almost rejected from the support line right here. Once it got above the support line right here, it got back above. We got the buy signal. Once again, this is a perfect place to put in a long trade. And if we only knew it back then, this would have been easily 30% without leverage. So with 10x leverage, that's another 300%. Absolutely crazy. But looking back, it's so much easier to see everything looking back. If we were in this position then, this is what it would look like. I would have probably drawn the trend like this, and this is the place where it would have known it's gonna go down. From here, we're gonna go down. It is time to short, and we did get the sell indicator. And so shorting from this level to this level is still over 100% with 10x leverage. So 12% with no leverage times 10, 120%. Then if we stretch this support, aka what is now resistance, we can see that Ethereum tried to break above right here, but did not quite succeed. It did not succeed at breaking above this level right here. It was in a range. And so this range would have been perfect for a range trader. So maybe if you don't want to swing trade, you can be a range trader. Range trading can be so simple. Basically, you would draw one resistance zone, you would draw one support zone based on where the price action is going. Let's go back to the 4-hour chart right here and see these new zones that we have drawn. This was so perfect for range trading. Oh my God, look at this. So perfect. So short from above, exit the trade right here, enter long. Long it until it hits the top, it hit here, and then you can start shorting. You short it, you're in a trade for a little bit, it goes back down. You exit a trade here, then you long to the top, and so on and so forth. Long, short, short, long, until you feel like it is over. So for example, here we had the confirmation that it was over because it did reach above the trend. It did reach above the resistance zone of the trend. And so this is where I would stop range trading and try to see what the newly established trend will be that Ethereum is trying to do. So the same goes for Bitcoin, the same goes for Link, the same goes for Cardano, the same goes for really any coin. Now, Birdview Indicator has something else that's very interesting. So apart from the money flow, apart from the oscillator waves that they have right here and the buy and sell signals, so let's just close all of that down. And let me just try the Hawkeye mode. So the Hawkeye mode is something completely different. It can show you how strong a particular candle is when looking at the buying and selling volume. So for example, the selling here has a much stronger pressure than the buying pressure. So on the 4-hour chart. What this can say is also that it is probably going to go down on the short term. Of course, they're just one of the little things that you gotta look at. You gotta see the whole big picture and then look at all the small little things in order to really make the case of where it's supposed to go, right? But let's go back to the daily here. Let's go back to the daily with Bitcoin. And here we have these little circles here. These are the resistance zones. The green ones are the buy zones, or the support zones rather. Very indecisive here. But this Cardano, let's go back to Bitcoin. Still the same, very indecisive. We have a resistance here at 30.5. We have another resistance at 35. So would that mean that if Bitcoin goes through the first resistance at 30.7, around there, 30.5 to 30.7K, will it just skyrocket to 35? Most likely. That's what I thought without even looking at this. That was my original thought behind this. So looking at this, the support zone is down here, just where I drew it, just where I drew my support zone around 25K. We do have a neutral zone with 2 resistances here at 30.2, but they're just one of the many things that the Birdview Indicator does have. Most of the time I just use this. I use the Birdview Premium and of course the Birdview Wave Oscillator down there with the money flow and everything. And it also says the short term we have an uptrend and long term we also have an uptrend, and that's definitely something you can see even with the naked eye. So short term we're bullish, very bullish. Looking at the long term, still very bullish. We didn't have a lower low ever since 15.5K, so everything is looking real good right now. So the main takeaways would be to 1, stick to your plan. Number 2, use indicators wisely, but look at the big picture as well. Don't just blindly follow an indicator. If it says buy, it doesn't necessarily mean that the charts will magically go up because an indicator says buy. You gotta look at the big picture and really see everything. If everything is colliding and you are thinking about longing, and then you also get a buy indicator, then everything is perfectly put together for that long trade. That's how I would definitely do it. So right now, if we're looking at shorting Bitcoin until 25K for the next support zone, I would really wait for that sell indicator to appear, for that money flow to go into the negative, and not really go into the negative, but to start going a little bit down on these shorter term charts. And when I say short term, well, daily isn't really a short term chart, but I was more thinking of the 6 hour, of the 4 hour. Well, the 4 hour is already a little bit in the negative money flow zone right here, but still we are above all the support zones. So there's absolutely no reason to short right now. The market is very neutral. I wouldn't put in a trade right now. I would just wait. So as you can see here, we did have a buy signal right here. It was going up for around 12 hours before it started going back down. So while the buy indicator did work out, if you were in this trade for more than 12 hours, you are at a loss right now. So that's why you gotta be mindful of the surroundings, mindful of everything. As you can see, the money flow, it did start going up. Right here, it did start going up, but we did have a rejection of the money flow here, so we could have easily exited the trade as the money flow starts going into the negative. But something very bullish here is this right here, the wave oscillators going up. They are doing like a reverse, I was gonna say a reverse stop pattern, but you could just call it bottom. Why say reverse stop? All these indicators, man, got my brain going rounds and rounds. So again, if you want to try the Birdview indicator, you can use the code inspector20 to get 20% off. Not only do you get 20% off, you also support the channel. If you want to trade with me, I trade over on Bybit. There's a link in the description for Bybit as well. You get 0 maker fees for the first month if you sign up through my link. Bybit, the absolutely best exchange for trading futures in my personal, humble opinion. And with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Peace. Inspector out.